Israel Adesanya is back in the octagon and ready to defend his belt. This time his opponent will be American Sean Strickland. Hello fighters. This is World of MMA channel. In today's video I will give a prediction for the fight between Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland, which will take place at UFC 293. But before you start, don't forget to subscribe and like. Here we go. Israel Adesanya has a crazy amount of experience. 80 fights in kickboxing, several fights in boxing, and that's just in the pros. And also 23 victories in mixed martial arts, 12 of them in UFC. And often together with the victory and a bonus of 50,000. Israel is the most versatile and technical puncher, perhaps even in the history of MMA. And before the fight with Romero, which was boring, he took the title in a brutal manner from Whitaker, who, in turn, spent 10 bright rounds against the same Cuban. And then Israel knocked out the undefeated Paulo Costa in a one-sided fight, after which he attempted to become a double champion. In March 2021, Adesanya accepted Jan Blachowicz' offer and moved up to light heavyweight to take the title from the Polish fighter. It came out unsuccessfully, but Adesanya steadfastly accepted that disappointing defeat and decided to return to his home division for a rematch with Martin Vettori. The Italian is essentially the only one who has been able to compete with Israel in the middleweight division during his time in the UFC. Although there was still a war with Gastelum, but the way Adesanya spent the final round says that Kelvin was good, but lost by decision. Out of the top 10 rankings, he beat everyone who deserved a title shot, and Vettori and Whitaker twice. It was Robert Israel who fought last February. The fight came out close, but the belt stayed with Adesanya. He later beat Cannonier without any problems. This was followed by 2 fights against Alex Pereira. In the first fight, dominated the entire fight and in the end missed a punch and lost by TKO. And in the second fight he took his own, knocking out the Brazilian already in the second round. Sean Strickland is 32 years old, with a 27-5 record, and by the summer of 2022 he was on a 6-fight win streak. The bosses of the world's premier promotion took notice of Sean when he was 21. He was the undefeated champion of the KOTS organization with a 13-0 record. His debut in the elite also turned out to be successful, with 2 wins in his first 2 fights. Then the American decided to move down a category, and here he suffered his first setback. According to the judges, the Argentinian Santiago Ponzinibbio did more to win. Sean quickly came back and scored 3 more victories before facing future welterweight king Kamaru Usman. The Nigerian went through a dangerous puncher in his typical fashion. And Sean, after defeating veteran Kurt McGee, lost again. This time to Elisa Zaleski dos Santos. Once again defeating a veteran, this time it was Nordine Taleb, and then a terrible tragedy. On his way out of the gym in Los Angeles, he was involved in an accident while driving a motorcycle. Numerous injuries and the need for surgery on a knee injured in fights. There was talk Strickland would have to end his career. However, not even 2 years passed, and Sean returned not only to the middle division, but also with a bright performance. Strickland outpointed Jack Marshman, and 2 weeks later knocked out Brendan Allen in the second round, while earning a performance bonus for the evening. He then had no apparent problems with the career restarting Krzysztof Jotka. Moved up to number 11 and got a fight against Uriah Hall. Sean defeated the former TUF finalist, climbed to number 7, but didn't stop. Last February, he again confidently passed Jack Hermanson and climbed to the number 4 position. But then Alex Pereira knocked him out in half a round, won the title in his next fight, and Sean slid down the rankings and started his quest for the belt all over again. A month ago, he could have nearly pulled off a misfire against the future champion, as his opponent was Cannonier, who was ranked in the top 3. But after 5 rounds the judges' decisions were divided, and the majority gave the victory to Jared, although almost all independent experts gave 3 rounds to Strickland. After this fight he had 2 bright victories over Prospect Imavov and Magomedov. Let's start with Israel's wrestling skills. Takedown defense. Adesanya has excellent defense against takedowns and the ability to avoid his opponent's wrestling holds. His stand-up style and good footwork help him stay upright. Basic wrestling techniques. Adesanya has utilized basic wrestling techniques such as throws and takedowns in his various fights. He also has skills in distance wrestling and can control distance effectively. Improving wrestling skills. Adesanya is constantly working to improve his wrestling skills in order to be a more versatile fighter. This is evident in his training camps and preparation for each fight. Ability to lift his opponent. On the rare occasion that Adesanya finds himself on the ground, he has the skills to lift his opponent and quickly regain his footing. Sean Strickland is a fighter with impressive wrestling skills that make him one of the strongest in the world of MMA. His ability to control and manipulate his opponent on the ground is an important part of his successful performances. Sean displays an excellent understanding of the wrestling base and effectively utilizes double leg kicks, hip ropes, and other techniques to knock opponents down and take the fight to the ground. He has excellent control skills in the parterre, able to hold opponents down and land punches from the top. His mixed fighting style allows him to switch from wrestling to stand-up and vice versa, making his fight uncertain and difficult for his opponent. I think the slight favorite here will be Israel Adesanya. Let's start with an American. Sean Strickland's striking technique is characterized by outstanding speed and precision. His main techniques in martial arts are powerful leg and arm strikes, as well as effective combinations. He is known for his ability to move quickly around the ring and control his opponent's distance. Sean Strickland is also adept at using low and high kicks to create unpredictable attacks and defenses. Now let's move on to Adesanya and break down his kick. The art of the stance. One of the fighter's key traits is his excellent stand-up skills. Adesanya is inspired by traditional kung fu and stands out for his ability to control the center distance, which allows him to avoid attacks and attack his opponents with effective strikes. Multiple striking techniques. Adesanya is proficient in a variety of striking techniques including kickboxing, Thai boxing, and karate. He uses high and low kicks, as well as knee and elbow strikes to create combinations that can disorient his opponents. Mobility and evasion. One of the key aspects of his technique is his ability to move quickly in the ring and dodge punches. This allows him to remain out of reach of many dangerous attacks. Counter-attack strikes. He is also adept at using counter-attacks, waiting for his opponent to make an attack so that he can respond with devastating blows. Adaptability. Adesanya has a unique ability to adapt to his opponent's style during the fight, making him an extremely dangerous opponent. I think Israel Adesanya will be the favorite here as well. I think Adesanya will win by knockout in the second or third round. What do you guys think? Write your opinions in the comments. Bye, everybody.